This video has not been paid for, but Godox did give me this little flash for free. My first flash ever was actually the ℎ800, and I knew nothing about how to use it. Do you mind? Quit. Marin. I had one a long time ago, and I don't know if I left it somewhere. Yeah, that's kind of how I learned flash, was on the ℎ800, and I lost one, and eventually I lost it, left it at the lake or something. Pretty expensive to just go and leave somewhere, but you know, I did, and replaced it with the exact same thing. Okay, so not bad. It's good quality light. It definitely added some contrast, which is what I was after. And this is totally not by accident. I thought this was a blob of water on the leaf or on my lens, but it's actually a hole in the leaf. And so we have bokeh in this little hole. I thought that was kind of cool.
I'm fast, boy.
Actually, I wonder if we'll get the weird banding that we get on the Z9 whenever we go over 640. Let's see. I'm actually not seeing it.
Oh, yeah, it's true.
Yeah, sure enough. I shot this at 1/2000 f1.3 for some reason. Based on other testing, I certainly would expect it to be banding on the Nikon Z9's all-electronic shutter, but I guess it's not right now. I have to do some tests on that later, but in the meantime... Anyway, to teach myself how to use flash, right? The idea, of course, initially was to learn, that way I could use it for portraits. And I made a buddy of mine go out to the lake with me and just stand there while I figured out what I was doing, because I knew nothing. I knew nothing about what I was doing. He's in his work clothes, and I had this horrifically cheap stand and an umbrella, and I had the flash pointing into the umbrella. It was just terrible, and I thought it looked great at the time, but it was ass. And on the topic of lighting, I remember early in my bodyscape days, it was before I was messing with flash actually, and so I was using continuous light in a homemade studio that was in the same apartment that I actually still live in. I was paying models for me to practice this genre of photography that I knew nothing about, that I was kind of having to figure out on my own. And it was all continuous lighting. And I just remember how awesome I thought it looked. Looking back, it's so terrible. I guess the moral of the story is it's really easy to think that you're the shiz at any given time through your images. You realize that you're not really. There's nothing wrong with laughing at how bad you used to be, as long as your images don't look like they used to. Know what I'm saying? The Godox IT30 Pro may just change your mind on what pocket flash can do. Weighing just 120 grams, it fits in the palm of your hand, but it's built with features you'd expect from a full-size speed light like this, the multi-$100 SB800 from Nikon. You get full TTL metering, high-speed sync up to 1/8000th of a second, and manual controls for when you want precision, or if you're just a freak like me, who does everything in manual. A bright touchscreen makes navigating settings fast and intuitive. No fiddling with buttons or clunky menus. However, if you do need to push one of the 3 buttons on this device, only the flash test / hold for power on/off switch illuminates. The other 2 buttons labeled set and menu, you're just going to have to memorize those. It's equipped with the Godox 2.4 GHz X wireless system, so it works seamlessly with your existing off-camera setup as a master or a receiver. The built-in rechargeable lithium-ion battery delivers up to 560 full-powered flashes with a 1.5 second recycle time. When the power gets low, just recharge it with a USB-C. Even though I bet you have a bunch of those around, Godox still includes one in this very nice and compact packaging in the bottom of the little box, so don't throw it out. They give you this little pouch too. A little lever on the side controls an all-internal pop-out diffuser, which gives you soft and even lighting on demand, with no need for extra modifiers. Use it for street photography, quick portraits, weddings, or as a simple little fill light. This one obviously is for Nikon, but it's available for other cameras as well. For $75 at the making of this video, what do you really have to lose? If this little flash is for you, check the links in the description to pick one up. I get a small commission if you do so.
The Godox IT30 Pro, small flash, big performance.
Corny as cornbread. I don't know who's cooking hamburgers, but I want one. Ah, man, they got that seasoning right. And they're definitely cooking on charcoal. My fat ass can tell. The timing really couldn't have been better, I guess, because I was already looking for a way to get some directional flash in my shallow depth of fieldy stuff. And I had bought this little doohickey right here to use with my SB800 for that purpose. And I had that on the way literally the same day that Godox reached out to test out the IT30. You can mount it right on top if you want. That's not my thing. I can't stand the look of like on-camera flash. I currently have it in manual because that's just what I do, but it does have TTL, has high-speed sync. Yeah, I can go in here and set the channel so it can work with my other flashes, which is pretty cool. That's one of the great things about being in the Godox system or a system like it. I'm in Godox, which is probably why they reached out to me, because they've probably seen me use their stuff before. But you get into the ecosystem, right? You don't just buy one thing. You have one trigger that just works with everything, and they have a variety of different flashes that you can get into, and it's very inexpensive to do so. And I like that because I'm an absolute freak for lighting whenever I really get in the mood. I ain't lying, if I had room in my studio for 5 or 6, 7 different lights, I absolutely would. Just before I wrap up this little fun little shoot here, I want to see if a brand new release will band with the Nikon Z9. As we know, all my other flashes, we get banding if we go over 640 of a second. And I wasn't seeing any over there, which is quite strange. This is quite a powerful little light, by the way. Not just trying to sell it to you. I don't think that this is a practical kind of light for every single shooter. You know, this is kind of one of those things, like, you'll know if something like this is needed in your life. For what I'm doing here, it's good quality light. It's super bright. But I want to do just a little test right there. I've got some white. I initially tested this theory on this white support here. And I'm going to see if maybe some theory that people have been saying is, oh, you've got old flash units. Well, we're going to see. You know what's weird? I'm not seeing any banding. Here in Lightroom, it does appear that there is no banding. This one was done at 1/8000th of a second, and I'm not seeing any banding. And I mean, that's a great thing. But unfortunately, it still doesn't answer the question, because we did see some inconsistency with the other lighting too. If you happen to see that video where I tested this, we learned that the Nikon Z9 always bands over 1/640th of a second, except when it doesn't. And therefore, it will always band at 1/8000th of a second, except sometimes when it doesn't. So we haven't quite figured out the inconsistency that we see, but see, this is not banding. This is the texture. In this final image, we certainly should be able to see some banding. In the deep shadows, trying to recover the deep shadows. But the Nikon Z9 will do this with or without flash. If you try to bring back unreasonable shadows, you'll get banding inherently. This banding is not coming up on this part of the image. So I don't think this flash is banding currently. But since I like this little flash so much, I'll be using it a lot. If I come across any banding and we see that inconsistency again, as I expect, then I'll definitely let you know. So far, so good though. So far, This is pretty awesome. I like this little thing. I'm definitely going to continue using it. It would fit in like a coat pocket just in case you needed it. Here, let's see. Is that a Godox in my pocket, or am I just happy to see you? Thanks again, Godox, for sending me your IT30 Pro. Super nifty. I'm Z Wade, the Z Wade, and Z Wade Photo. Stay sharp, YouTube.